live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Strawn. So.
Where's the description for this one? I'm trying to get my deep voice on. We just saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, we did. Boy.
Miles Morales. Wait, where did my voice go?
Miles
Morales becomes the Spider-Man of his reality and crosses paths with his counterparts from other dimensions to stop a threat to all reality. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why it had to be 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Now I understand why it's so long.
It was amazing. I gotta tell you, I had such low expectations for this.
I did too. The
because it was just going to be like another, just another cartoon, and I have to say that as far as cartoons go, I have never seen anything like this. It was absolutely, completely riveting.
I'm enjoying this little slideshow.
Are you?
So on IMDb, all the characters are going by my face as you're talking.
Oh, okay.
I was distracted. Sorry. I'm like a cat
here. You were.
No, I had low. I feel exactly what you said. I feel like I had low expectations. I was going there like kind of like, oh, it's 2 hours long. It's gonna be.
Well, you know, here, in all honesty, we saw Mortal Engines last week.
Yeah.
And this came out along with Mortal Engines.
It did.
And I didn't want to see that because I thought that there was a good chance that it could slide on and we would find something else.
Yeah, yeah.
This one just flat out pulverized my brain. I mean, the look of it, the number, the way that the effects were intertwined, and effects in cartoons or effects in animation have grown and gotten better and better and better and better. I mean, just like they have in, you know, real world films. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, some of the amazing decisions that were made to combine the words.
Oh yeah.
To combine.
Well, this was like,
obviously
it looked like a comic book. That's what
it did, and it looked like a comic.
This is the first superhero movie that actually looks like a comic book.
Well, it looked like a modern comic book.
Right, but with but you had all the dots and everything, like
right, the whole bit,
and the backgrounds,
man.
like you know how it looked flat,
the 3D-ish.
Yeah, it was like 3D-ish, but
yeah.
I like how it looked like, and they used panels. I mean, it was great. Actually,
it was amazing the way and the design factors of interweaving all this stuff together. And yet, at the same time, the story was utterly clear.
And then, at the beginning where he was giving people high fives and you see the little lines.
Right.
Like,
and when they do their spider senses, there's lines going out on the spider senses. And I just have to say, the amazing thing is that it kept grounding itself with the words coming in every once in a while. You know, saying ha ha ha, or you know, you would just see what that had. That kind of like it grounded it back to where it should be. You know, I mean, it didn't go. The whole thing was incredible flights of fancy from the design point of view.
Yeah,
and yet.
Plus, it was quite a story. I mean, it was like there was a lot going on, and
there's a lot going on.
It did bring it back to reality, reality or whatever.
Right, reality,
whichever reality that is.
And you had a bunch of, and you also had a bunch of intersecting realities.
Yeah.
And each character seemed to carry a little cloud of their own reality around with them. You know, it was just amazing.
The weirdest one was the pig, though.
The pig was great,
but they did miss the boat. They should have gotten John Lovitz. Darn it.
Well, you know, let's be true.
I'm Spider-Ham. I don't know. John Mulaney did a good job, though.
Yeah,
I'll give him credit.
I thought he did a good job.
This had a lot of good voices. Even Lily Tomlin was in this one, which blew my mind. I was like, where did she come from?
Well, I love that the voice of the kid was the guy from Jake Johnson from New Girl. I've liked his voice a lot.
Peter Parker.
Yeah, and he just did did Peter Parker's voice so well. I mean,
Well, yeah.
But he wasn't the kid. I mean, he was
still had that kind of Spider-Man sound. The teenager
right,
kind of squeaky voice kind of almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he was playing the older Spider-Man. The whole thing was so amazing.
Well, I knew I was in for an interesting movie when the opening credits blew my mind. I was like, wow. I felt like I was on something.
Yeah, it was.
Which one of the comments I saw online before I went to the movie theater was somebody said that they saw this on LSD and it was the most wonderful experience they ever had. And I'm like, I don't know how you need to be on that.
We were watching it and I was saying, yeah, but that's like Sarah, saying that you had a combination of cough syrup and heroin and that it was the best cough syrup you've ever had. Well, yeah, but it had heroin in it. Right. Come on.
Well, this reminds me of what's his name? Timothy Leary came to my college in Durango, Colorado, a little college, because he was into the alternate reality in your mind by watching a video. So he created this video that was a little crazy.
Right.
And you watched it, and you were supposed to kind of get to a different state of mind.
Yeah, he was always into that cerebral East Coast kind of drugs can lead you to this more cerebral place.
To the point now where it was no drugs; it was just.
Well, I know, but then I kind of like was more West Coast with the Grateful Dead and the Merry Pranksters and all the rest of that.
I went up to talk to him and I was like, I brought something up about LSD, and he acted like I was crazy and said, LSD? "What do you want, kid?"
LSD. What? Why? Are you holding?
If you want an LSD experience without the drug, this is it.
Yeah.
Not that I know. I have no idea.
The way that they I just got to say, the way that every frame had so much nuance.
Yeah.
And
the colors were amazing.
At the same time that it had nuance of character, it had just a blowaway of visual,
Oh, the villains were fantastic in this one.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're like perfect. Just the way they did all the characters.
Right. Well, and
particularly the villains, I thought were great.
Right. But what was his name? The big guy?
Kingpin.
Yeah. Kingpin
did
the way that his haunting, the loss of his wife and child, haunted him.
There were some cheesy parts that but that's superhero movie for you, really.
Right.
But it seems cheesier with animation.
Well, yeah, but that they weren't what turned him to the bad or anything like that. It's just that because he was bad, they went away and that haunted him.
Well, there were parts with him that actually, there were certain parts of this movie that I felt like I was actually reading the comic book.
Right. Oh,
and that was one of the parts where he was revealing what
who he was, and
the way they drew it, they actually kind of drew the panels in one at a time.
Right. Oh God.
So yeah, it was interesting.
But still.
So if you can't read, and you want to see a comic book, this is it.
And where we actually had Peter Parker, different levels of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is what they had in common, not the name Peter Parker.
Right. Chris Pine did a voice.
Which
I was trying to figure out
which one was he?
Oh, okay. Chris Pine was the Peter Parker, the first one.
Oh, right.
Peter B. Parker was Jake Johnson. So that totally just blew my mind anyway.
Right, because we might have possibly.
Right. Who knows? It was weird.
Oh, man.
The music was fantastic, I thought.
The music
they used was perfect. And I don't know who some of the artists were, but I really like all the music I heard. And it fit perfectly with what so whoever did that.
Oh, yeah.
And the score was pretty good too.
And I have to say that I had just seen 2 hours before this started, I had just gotten out of the theater from watching Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
And the music to that was the stupidest. It was. The thing is the only thing that was stupider then the music in that film was everything else in the film.
Wow.
It was so bad. Oh my God. You know what? I went in there
I can't believe that John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell would be a miss.
But here's the thing is, that film was like critics were at 6%.
Yeah.
And I thought 6% is because they don't understand. I swear to God, when after being in the film for about 10 minutes, I thought, you know what? 6% is pretty generous. So, anyway, here's the thing. I kept hearing about this film from people, and I'm going, well, yeah, but it's just an animation. It's,
I want to know more about what you said.
About
effects within
an animated
film.
I want to say this. And here's the thing is effects, and you remember what I told you about practical effects. What did I say that its definition was? Something that moves, right? Something that moves that isn't the film through the camera, and it isn't an actor, and it isn't a vehicle, right?
Right.
That is the realm of special effects, and it's exactly the same thing in animated films, because the director takes you through the characters moving around, right? But the special effects people come in and add all the layers of they change the presence of it, and they have lighting people that change the presence of it, but all these motions that are going on that are not directly related to the like if you had rain come down, think of it this way. Think of in a comic in animation, think of how many different ways you've seen rain come down, right? Okay, that's special effects, just like it is in real life. I know that sounds funny. It sounds like that's a bizarre distinction, and because animation is animated, right? That why would they separate that out? But think about it this way: you have all the special effects. You have guns shooting.
I guess it makes sense.
How things explode.
You have to have a different department for
right.
that.
Well, I mean,
it makes sense to my
just think of it this
head.
Think of it this way. Wrap your head around just the beginnings of animation and how the separation of the background.
Mickey Mouse right now.
Well, okay.
Steamboat Willie.
No, think about that. Think about somebody did the loop for the background.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's two different departments. There's background and there's the guy. Right?
Right.
And so
that was creepy. How did you do that? You look just like him. I don't know where the ears came from. His horns came out.
So anyway, you have to think that then you have people that their specialty is they have software that deals with a certain kind of ray motion. They have software that deals with the bubbling up of the devices that were going on and those snaps and like the
Octa Lady.
The Octa Lady and her arms coming around like this, and there's that's all underneath the
Doc Ock. Yeah, it was a female Doc Ock.
But I'm just saying that all of these things are underneath the overall purview of the special effects people. And just like in real life.
And this had a ton of different departments, obviously.
Oh, man, I'm sure. I mean,
credits were pretty long.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure that
almost as long as the movie.
I'm sure that they had a lot of different companies that dealt with particular elements of, the visuals that you were seeing. Because it's layered and layered and layered and layered. So I don't know what else I can really say about this other than you'd be an idiot not to see this.
Absolutely.
Film. I mean, no matter who you are,
was this Stan Lee's last movie?
I think
he was in it barely, but
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting. This is his last one. It is animated,
and it's animated, and it is so freaking awesome. You have to think to yourself, and I was thinking this when I was watching the film. I was thinking, well, the CGI factors that have brought animation and used it, and the special effects have used it in the special effects of shooting film, have dovetailed animation and live action have gotten closer and closer together and have been mixing.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that this is a
like Mary Poppins.
Like Mary,
of course, that
exactly.
happened in the 60s too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but
no, but what I've noticed about this, it seems like this is an important movie. I think. I mean, maybe not right now, but
no.
It will be in the future.
I think you're absolutely right.
We're getting away from the 90s. You know, the 90s X-Men movies and all the early 2000s, you know.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And we're kind of getting a little bit farther away from
all
that.
the time that I was watching this, I was going, wow, this is new.
Yeah.
This is because, for one thing that they did really well is the visuals in it were interesting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and the layers themselves, they weren't lost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, X-Men. No, I was thinking of the Avengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers films, which have taken their special effects animation and went to just the bizarre horribleness degree,
right?
And
I'm thinking about Thor too.
Right, exactly.
The big battle.
I mean, Thor was really good because they actually kind of laughed at themselves.
Yeah.
But here was a film that is an animation film, and it showed the others how to do it, how to keep the visuals interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which really, to me, animation isn't always all that interesting. You know, I mean, I don't feel compelled to see those things, to see myself in animation. And I was completely sucked in here. I mean, I was just completely sucked in, and I kept thinking to myself, wow, you know what? We're going to see some of these techniques and they used so many things that they did absolutely right. Mm-hmm. We're going to use some of those techniques used in films, being as the technology is exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying that this is a groundbreaking film all the way around. Absolutely.
I agree.
Yay! Woohoo! So, honestly, here's what I'm going to say.
I have to say, even though we agree, it's pretty amazing. What we're saying.
Well, yeah,
and you'd be a fool not to follow us.
Yeah, you would be a fool not to follow us. Yeah, that's a good point.
You and your brother.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and rate it right now. I have to put this. I was riveted through the whole thing, and I can't believe that this is the first. Maybe I'm say 4.9.
Wow.
I mean, really, I thought that this was absolutely amazing.
Well, I was going to give it a 4.8 until I realized that Zoe Kravitz was in this too, so I'm going to give it a 4.9. Because she is hot. Anyway.
Yeah. So
no, 4.9. I'm right there with you. Actually, it's like maybe I'd give it a 5 if they had John Lovitz in it.
Master S-Pin.
You just wanted the better pick. You wanted the better pick, you know?
Well, that was the one character I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of funny, but
and, you know, the funny thing about it was that, and I'm not knocking the film. I have 1/10% to knock anyway. I'm not knocking the film.
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying that if I am knocking that, it's that they didn't give the pig enough to do.
Yeah,
you know, the pig was a very underused, underappreciated,
more old school
character.
cartoony fighting maybe.
I know, right, exactly. So anyway, so I was amazed. It was absolutely awesome. So I'm gonna go up this weekend and do a little work on Vengeance.
Yes,
we're gonna work on pulling that sucker together. So Friday the 13th.
I know, it's crazy.
See, I'm filling out my resume.
Yeah. You just have to do Halloween now.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, I'll wear the mask next Halloween. What do you think?
That actually
count?
would work.
Does that count? Okay,
that's close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough. So
maybe a short film.
Yeah.
Just do like a 2-minute film.
Yeah, we'll do. Michael. Yeah, we will.
Michael Myers makes a salad.
You see, you got me there. So.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. That was this is an amazing film. Please, 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 please make it part of your viewing list.
Yeah, if you've seen any animated superhero movie, or actually any superhero movie, this is one.
Yeah, no. That's the one. I'm not judging it as an animated film at all.
Yeah. I want to see what it influences later.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.